All right, hello. I wanted to welcome you to your week 5 learning module. This learning module is called Big Organic and encompasses, we're going to spend basically 2 weeks in chapter 9 covering this idea of, you'll hear people call it industrial organic, big organic, corporate organic. It's really the philosophy and kind of the educational component around how organic became this big booming industry, if you will. So Pollen walks you through how in the 1940s organic was termed or coined. The term was coined by a gentleman that you will learn about in chapter 9. And he was really looking at organic from this grassroots perspective. So his name was Rodale, and he started the Organic Gardening and Farming magazine. And really this grassroots effort in terms of educating people about what organic farming was all about and encouraging people to understand more about soil health, crop rotation, those sorts of things. And so what started as really this grassroots effort, kind of in the, I would say, 60s or 70s, you'll hear about a gentleman, his name is Gene Kahn, and he came on board, I would say, in the 70s with Cascadian Farms. And if Cascadian Farms sounds familiar to you, they are, when you go to the grocery store and you buy those clamshell containers full of like pre-washed lettuce, that's probably what they're the most popular for. So Gene Kahn started out in the 70s as a grassroots organic farmer. But then over time, as this buzzword became bigger and bigger and bigger, the organic label became the label that people were looking for and were trusting within our food system. Gene Kahn eventually sold out. And I believe now Cascadian Farms is actually owned by General Mills. So when we talk about corporate organic, right, General Mills is a large corporation and Cascadian Farms is under that umbrella. So kind of a little bit of, I guess, history lesson, if you will. Pollen's going to take you through that in chapter 9 and you're going to learn about that over these next 2 weeks. So we spent some time talking about the organic label, this idea of industrial organic, those sorts of things. So within your learning module, you will review the USDA's website, and this will help educate you more about what it takes to have that USDA organic certified label on food items. And a lot of people don't realize that there's actually 4 different categories or 4 different components to that label. So you certainly have the 100% USDA certified organic label, which is mostly your like raw, unprocessed food crops. Then you have organic, which arguably, if it has the USDA seal on it, probably falls within this category, which means that 95% of your food item is certified by the USDA as organic. And then you move into 2 other categories that do not have the USDA seal on them, but can say like made with organic, or they have little like asterisks. And next to those asterisks, or at the bottom, you'll see like a definition to that asterisk, which basically says these are the specific organic ingredients within this food item that are organic. So a lot of people don't realize that. So I do direct you out to the USDA website to talk about the specifics around the organic food label, because a lot of people just assume that organic must be, oh, everything within this is organic. So I also, in your discussion board, give you that image so that you can kind of, again, reiterate what that USDA seal means and what has to happen in order for that to be on your food item. So I ask you to go out and find an organic label, talk about what you learned related to that. Something that's highly industrialized. Pollen gives a great example of this, and so I would encourage you to read that example, but then think about in your own when you're in the grocery store, what would be some examples of that? And I am biting my tongue because I want to provide some examples for you, but I'd like to see what you come up with first. And then this last idea about organic junk food, right? So an organic Twinkie or an organic TV dinner. I use the example when I teach this class in person, the organic rock star. Is that really, like, when we're talking about organic food, is that really in the spirit of organic food? And you may not feel this way, but there are actually people who believe that because it has the organic label, it's good for me. And so they then kind of justify the consumption of those things: cookies, crackers, candy bars, the organic rock star. And you have to ask yourself, it's still junk food, right? So is it really actually still good for me? Your Let's Connect this week. So now we're going to shift back to completing some more of those badges. So you'll remember in week 1, I had you do that Blackboard Basics badge, and then you also did the OneDrive badge if you were looking for some extra credit. So you are going to now begin working towards the series of library badges. So this is the first week. You will complete the first badge associated with the library. So you can either get to that badge by clicking on the library homepage. Excuse me. When you scroll down, you'll see there's an option here that says library badges. You can certainly click there, and it's going to take you straight out to the My Commons, where it shows you those 4 badges that need to be completed. The first one that you're going to work on is this Crossed the Threshold. So you can certainly get to it that way, or if you'll remember, you also have access to it within your My Blackboard. When you scroll down into your My Organizations, remember it lives in My Commons. So you can click on My Commons, and then you'll see under academic support, there is library. So I've given you both pathways to access that within your learning module. And then remember, that first one that you're completing is the Crossed the Threshold badge. Once you've completed this badge, remember, you need to navigate back to your My Badge book, and then you need to find that completed library badge that you've earned and take a screenshot of that and upload that as your completed assignment. So remember, over here, you're going to see that there is a spot where it says, Let's Connect, and then it is a space for you to upload that completed badge. So those are the assignments for this week. I didn't highlight the planting blueberries and quiz associated with that. You can certainly navigate through that. There's a short little PBS video here for you to watch around planting blueberries and talking more about organic farming. And then there's a short quiz that goes through that specific episode that you watched. So again, just providing you some more information related to organic farming and what goes into that. So that is a highlight for your week 5. Holy moly, I can't believe we're already in week 5. I'm super excited. Today I'm going to the Idaho Center. The Ag Forum is today, and the topic is from basically from farm or ground to your glass. So we're talking about the wine industry and the hop industry. And so I'll be a panelist today talking about the issues surrounding agriculture. And this is definitely one of them. Organic farming, to use pesticides, to not use pesticides, soil health. We'll talk about water. Water's a big issue right now in terms of getting food to your plate. And then this idea of voting with your dollar. So I recently read an article, and I'll share the image with you at some point when it's a little more relevant within the course. But this idea that every dollar, only 7 cents of that goes back to the farmer. So the other 93 cents is caught up in processing, packaging. Believe it or not, the largest percent, almost 40 cents of that dollar, is caught up in our food services industry. So it is crazy to think when we're talking about voting with your dollar, how impactful that really can be within your community. So I'm excited to do that today and talk about what I love most, which beer, wine, fermentation science, and just agriculture in general. So with that, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out. Otherwise, I hope you all are feeling well. If you are a big Valentine's Day person, hopefully you had a happy Valentine's Day. And then remember, next Monday is a holiday. You still have assignments due Monday night, but if you have classes in person on Mondays, the CWI campus is closed. So with that, have a fantastic week. Reach out if you have any questions, comments, or concerns.